Welcome to the Pigskin Party Podcast, the only podcast that combines real NFL analysis with a splash of pop culture and a dash of the random. Let's get this Pigskin Party started with your hosts, Brian McFadden, Will Southard, and Tommy Yu.
Welcome back to the Pigskin Party Podcast presented by DraftKings. I am your host, Brian McFadden. I'm joined here once again by Will Southard. No Tommy, yet again. Still having those internet issues in Podunk, Philadelphia. They have internet issues from time to time, I guess. But Will, me and you, just like old times, just got done with the main episode, about to preview some Week 15. How you doing, man?
Let's go.
Oh, look at you. Energetic, pumped. You were just telling me before we started recording how tired you are. All it took was to hear that intro music to get you back in the mood. Is that the thinking here?
Yeah.
Or are you just like a kid who gets really tired and then has like a second wind to like expel that last little bit of energy before they just absolutely conk out? Is that where I have you at right now?
You're playing on borrowed time.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm predicting. So on that note, let's not waste any more time so you don't fall asleep halfway through the show. As usual, this is our flavor of the week. We're going to preview all of the upcoming games for Week 15. We're going to make game picks. We'll talk about spreads. We will do it draft style, as we've been doing for the past few weeks. We'll figure it out with just the two of us, who's drafting for who, and whether Tommy gets all the games like you guys did to me or none of the games. I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. Before we do that, though, we got to do our palate cleanser. We talk about all this NFL stuff. We got to mix it up. We were debating before the show about what direction we go in. Do we do it Christmassy? I think we're going to wait till next week. If you're, for some reason, tuning in for a PPP Christmas palate cleanser, wait one more week. We will do something next Tuesday leading up to Christmas. But Will had a great idea. He wanted to, let's talk about the most overrated bands of all time. So Will, got to start with you. This was your idea for the topic. I'd love to hear. You apparently had some names ready to go off the top of your head. So without further ado, let's hear it.
This is a topic I think about quite a bit, and
okay, apparently
some of these names are going to trigger some people. So we got to start a little easy here.
People getting ready for a fight. Okay,
we got to
softball first.
We got to ease into this, but I'm going to just start by ease in. I mean, I'm going to list my number one. Let's go with U2.
Oh,
U2.
Wow, that's not easing into anything, man. You went right for the jugular.
I mean, can anybody name a good U2 song? Number one. And number two,
Bloody Sunday?
Remember when Apple just made everybody...
Still haven't found what... What are we doing
Remember
here?
when Apple made everybody angry by gifting them a free YouTube album and forcing you to download it, and everyone was like, I hate this, like, make it go away? Like, that band is just revered. I don't know why. They're just not good. And Bono is just a weirdo. Like, I mean, I don't know.
He is a weirdo, but I like their music. I don't really...
Okay, well, you can disagree, and you would be wrong. Anthony, happy sound effect if U2 is not overrated.
He's like 17.
Shut up.
I'm not sure he's heard of you.
Shotgun if they're overrated.
Was that one of the choices?
I don't know. I don't know what just happened. Shotgun if they're overrated. So they're not overrated. So Anthony is a YouTube
Beautiful
fan.
Day, With or Without You. I mean, come on.
No.
Lots of hits.
I feel like Anthony's band kind of sounds like U2, which is why he thinks they're not overrated. So you're both wrong. You're both wrong.
He is the only current musician. He is the current musician of the three of us participating in this podcast right now. Tommy's got his ukulele. You and I obviously met over music and had a band for many years. But Anthony's the one who's actually out there doing it. 10 Foot Waves, by the way. Check them out. 10 Foot Waves on Spotify if you're in the LA area.
It'd be funny if it was 10-inch Wiener. That was his band.
That's going to be the name of the tour. Like 10 Foot Waves.
That's the name of the Weird Al Yankovic cover album.
That's and that's when you know you've made it, Anthony, if you get a spoof cover from Weird Al. So something to strive for.
Right. Let me hear the name that you're going to be wrong about.
All right, well, no, you're 100% going to agree with me here. This is a little bit of this is an actual softball. But the reason I'm listing them is because they were actually very popular commercially. A lot of people, especially mainstream, really enjoyed them. most people in the music business, musicians, this is one of the first names that comes to mind. I'm talking about Nickelback. I'm talking about like Overrated from.
No.
Yeah,
no,
see,
stop it.
shoot him dead.
No, hang on. I'm gonna put my foot in the ground here. Nickelback gets more crap than any, like maybe Creed got more crap than Nickelback.
I would take Creed over Nickelback any day.
They're kind of the same.
They are the same. Creed is a little bit more talented.
However,
but yeah.
Overrated means that you're like very well thought of and like a lot of people like you.
But that's the thing is they are from a mainstream perspective. You and I, we were musicians. We played in rock bands. We tend to be more connected to the musician side of it, but that's not the general public.
No.
The general public holds Nickelback in very high regard.
Stop it. Listen, here's the thing. Nickelback is, you know how, see, I'm a musician. I enjoy Nickelback, but here's the thing.
Oh, don't tell me that. How can you enjoy Nickelback?
Here's why. When I go to the movies, right? And when you go to the movies and you look at the rating, like the popcorn ratings on movies, right? You see the critic review and it's got the spilled popcorn and it's like 20%.
Right.
And then you got the audience popcorn that's sitting there at like a 87. It's a good movie, right? So like, I think about Nickelback the same way. Like critically and musically, it is very plug and play, just copy paste.
But
garbage.
Their songs also suck. It's not just critically. Their songs are not good. It's not good music.
First of all, they have some of the high. We're gonna get in a heated argument about Nickelback. First of all, they have some of the.
I honestly did not expect you to Nickelback. This is surprising to me.
Some of the highest production value in the industry. Their guitars and drums sound fantastic.
That has nothing to do with them. That has to do with their production engineer, audio engineer.
I agree. It has a little bit to do with them. A lot to do with their production engineer. However, so their instruments sound good. It's also tight because it's not complex, and they have hooky little hooks. It's not the best band of all time, but I think they get unfairly crapped on by actual musicians. Nickelback should not be in the list.
You know what Nickelback is? They're an algorithm that wrote some songs. Like
Yes.
they are machine learning. This is what a rock song should sound like. Put all that together, release it, sell millions of albums. That's
never
Nickelback.
going to make it as a wise man, right? But
Oh Jesus, no! You had to go there. Oh,
you can
Ruining the show.
take Nickelback songs and paste them over other Nickelback songs, and
this
it will
is
make
how you remind me. Oh, now it's in my head.
it. So, listen, just photograph.
Oh, that's the worst one. That is the worst one.
It's pretty bad. Or Chad Kroger talking about how he's going to get in a fight.
For his sake, he should never get in a fight. He will get destroyed.
Let's go to somebody that we more agree on, because this is obviously fun. And I'm going to get controversial, because we're obviously the gloves have come off. The Foo Fighters are one of the most overrated bands of all time. I don't know why
no.
they
This
get
is
so much love.
This is worse than you two. I love Foo Fighters. What are you talking about? They're fantastic.
They are
Critically,
so bad.
the songs are good. No. Wait a second. I might have to kick you off the show. How have you defended Nickelback and trashed Foo Fighters? Are you just trolling me here?
Here's the thing, though. We're talking about the most overrated bands. Everybody craps on Nickelback, right? They're probably appropriately rated. Everybody loves the Foo Fighters. Like, you don't hear anybody talking bad about the Foo Fighters. But,
Right.
like, when you listen to the it's just
Rightfully so.
generic garbage. Like, it's
What?
just,
Are you
they're
kidding me?
awful.
You're
They're
a drummer.
awful.
How can you not love the drum lines that they have on their
Their
songs?
live shows, I'll give you this. Live shows, I heard are great. Dave Grohl's a great stage presence, but there's just nothing.
Wow.
Like,
This I'm learning something new about you tonight, Will, and it is not making me feel good. Anthony, I want Anthony in for this. We did not plan to bring Anthony in.
You gotta give
Anthony,
him
I hope you're
shotgun.
dressed.
Shotgun
We're-
options.
We're only seeing the black screen. If you're naked, throw some clothes on because you're going to be on YouTube Live. Turn your camera on. You need to be involved. You're the musician here. You need to be involved in this discussion. There we go. You're on mute. There you go. I just want to make sure you're good. Okay. So based on what we've given so far, I comment on all of it. We got Nickelback, U2,
And the Foo
and freaking Foo Fighters overrated.
Wait a
What?
minute. Hang on. Before we comment on that, can we comment on the fact that Anthony's sitting at home in the dark without his camera on with a Lions shirt and hat matching combo?
That's what gets him in the right mindset to do this show. He's got to have the Lions garb on, the Lions swag.
Let's hear it, Anthony.
Okay, so I like U2
as well. You should.
Personally, I think they have great music. Overrated, maybe almost. I don't think they're good enough to have the international attention that they got. That I can agree with. They have great music, though, so it's really hard. I'm kind of in between on that one.
By the way, that's a better way to put it than the way you put it, Will. Like,
Whatever.
I'm like, okay. See, no, they don't suck.
They suck.
They're
Keep
like
going.
the OG of boy bands, and then not
Whoa!
like
No.
Whoa! No, boy bands.
Fired.
so I mean, sort of. They kind of inspired boy bands.
U2 inspired boy bands. Under what circumstance?
Yeah, it's 98
Just their
degrees,
music.
in sync,
It
U2.
seems that way.
U2. New Kids on the Block. U2. All right. Well,
And then,
let's hear the rest of them.
Okay, Nickelback, just awful. Overrated? No. I mean, everyone craps on them. It's just.
Exactly.
But then
have
why did they sell
never
millions
been
of
loved.
records? What I meant was from a general public standpoint. Like, clearly people are buying their records. They made a lot of money.
Listen,
So
Nickelback
generally-
is the musical equivalent of
I feel
midget
like they
porn.
were like-
Everybody likes it, but nobody wants to admit it in public.
They bought it for pity. They were like, I kind of.
I don't have a retort to that. What am I supposed to say to midget porn? What could be the next thing? How can I follow that?
Oh boy.
Go.
All right, continue, Anthony. Continue.
Right. So I don't think they're overrated. I actually think that they're just an awful band. I think they sold a lot of records because of their catchy melodies and good instrumentation. But no, they've been crapped on too much to say they're overrated, in my opinion.
They're an artificial intelligence that created pop
All right,
songs.
keep going.
generic.
That's all it
Tell
is.
me how I'm
Um,
right about Foo Fighters.
No, you're wrong about Foo Fighters.
Hell yeah, he's wrong.
They're gold. I mean, they're a great band. Their songs have been great for years. And like you said, the live shows are great. Overrated? No. They have great music.
They're
I
probably
disagree.
top 5 or 6 for me all time. Foo Fighters.
Oh,
Absolutely.
God, now we know why you never made it in music. Oh!
And you did? And you did? I came
No.
closer than you did, my friend.
No, but at least I
Oh,
never
no.
claimed to like the Foo
Shots
Fighters.
have been fired.
Shots
All
have
right.
been very much fired. All right, so I got another one, and then we'll hear from
I got
Anthony.
3 more.
3 more. Well, we can't. We got to talk about football at some point. This is going to be super cleansed. So here's one that kind of lines up with some stuff you've said, Will. The Rolling Stones.
They are one of my 3. Thank you.
Oh, are they? Good. We're actually in alignment on one. It took towards the end of the segment, but yes, I think maybe similar to you two. I'm not saying they're a horrible band, but to get the kind of acclaim they've had, I'm not a huge fan. They've got some catchy songs, but as one of the greatest rock bands of all time, no, way overrated.
100% agree. There are a lot of bands from that era I think you could put in that same genre, like The Doors, The Eagles. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't deny Hotel California. Like, there's, and there's
It's a
few
legend,
other,
yeah.
There's a few other ones, but like, they're not overall that good, right? Like, there's a lot. But I got 2, and I'll just finish with my 2. I kind of feel bad saying this because for 2 reasons. I'll explain them. One is Nirvana, and I will say I like Nirvana. I think Nirvana has a lot of really good songs, and you can't deny what they started, right? For the grunge
They
movement.
started an entire
Movement.
genre of music.
I agree. Yes.
You can't overrate a band like that.
But you can.
They're
They are-
icons, iconic.
They're just
First of all, what you have something as Dave Grohl. You've literally named both of his bands.
Nirvana, like when you think about Nirvana, like people put them as like the best band of all time status, and they're clearly not, right? Like
Okay, I wouldn't put them there, but
at that
yeah.
time they're not that great of musicians, and the songs are good, but like you could put Nirvana songs right up there with Soundgarden, and Soundgarden is just as good, right? Stone Temple Pilots is just as good, but Nirvana is held on this pedestal just because of whence they came, right? You could also say that about the Beatles, but they weren't on my list. They should be on my list. I forgot the Beatles. They should be on my list. The
I
last
would very much disagree with you there as well.
And then my last one is the Beastie Boys. However, the Beastie Boys are kind of unique, so I'll give them that. But like, are they a really good band? The Beastie Boys? No, they are not.
All right, Anthony, let's hear from you. Let's hear one or two overrated bands, most overrated of all time, and then we'll move on to our previewing the Week 15 games.
10-Foot Waves, most underrated.
Yeah, there we go.
Appreciate that. I didn't have any bands in mind that are overrated. I mean, you guys pretty much covered any band that I would have thought
Especially
was
Foo
overrated.
Fighters.
No, except that
Can
one.
we just mute him if he's gonna trash Dave Grohl? I'm not
What's
sure
the
he
rest
can be
on
the
your
show.
list? Anthony can't talk crap on bands.
That was my list. I only put 2 down.
I
You
can't.
only put 2? There's
We
so
just
many.
came up with the segment. We came up with the segment like right before we started recording. I threw a couple on there. I figured you would throw some crazy stuff out there, which you did, and we went from there.
Fair enough.
And we do have to talk NFL football at some point.
Yeah.
There's so many, bro. Pink Floyd. They're also super overrated.
Jeez.
Dream
Harsh.
I
Theater.
disagree there too. I like Pink Floyd.
Yeah, really.
Just because you like them doesn't mean they're appropriately
like-
rated.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think they've. I mean, today anyway. I don't know what it was like when they were in their prime, but today I don't think they're talked about enough because their music is still relevant. In my mind, I mean, I love to vibe to Pink Floyd personally, and I just don't hear enough about it. And I feel like maybe I should.
I feel like we should get back to football.
Yeah, I think so. I
'Cause
think
you
this,
guys are
I
just
agree.
really wrong. You're just
No.
wrong.
2 opinions
Wait, hang
different
on.
than yours. I think
Hang on.
we're the ones that are right.
No, hang on. I feel like the listeners should email or comment
Sure.
below the video and tell us why I'm right and Brian's wrong, or add bands to the list that you feel are overrated, and we'll circle back to it at a different time.
Are assumingly, mainly, I don't know if that's a word. I try to make up a word. I'm trying to assume that the large majority of our listeners are NFL fans. But if they have opinions on bands, please let us know. Pigskin Party Podcast at
Yeah, because
gmail.com.
People that like
or
football don't like music.
That's fair enough. I have judged our entire listener base. I apologize. Send us your opinions. Pigskinpartypodcast at gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter at officialpppod. Let's talk some football. Tommy, Anthony.
I'm gonna get absolutely roasted, by the way, for that Nickelback opinion. Absolutely roasted.
I still can't believe. I'm in shock. I'm in shock about the Foo Fighters and forget the U2. I've forgotten about the U2 thing at this point. Anthony, thanks for popping in and telling me that I'm right. You may go back to producing the show.
Cool.
All right, so hey, let's talk some Week 15.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So starting with Thursday Night Football, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Chargers, battle for first place. The Chargers won the first matchup earlier this season, so this would give them the 2-0 advantage over the Chiefs. Only 1 game back in the AFC West. Chiefs are favored. Now, I didn't. Anthony did the show notes this week, so I'm assuming that this is correct. It says that the Chiefs are favored on the road. We'll do the primetime games first. We're not doing the draft yet. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with that. I'm going to straight up. I think the Chargers are playing better football right now. I think that Brandon Staley really likes the too high shell defense, which is exactly what we say is that Chiefs' weakness right now. The Chargers actually controlled the ball pretty well the first time up, and I'm going to say it's the same here. So I'm just going to go and make the first pick of the week and say that I think Kansas City or Los Angeles is going to win this game at home.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs.
Okay.
Because you're right. That should be what happens. And the Chiefs are playing crappy football. The Chargers have also not shown up to games, right?
This is true.
And the Chiefs have been very, sort of hot and cold, more cold than hot, and they're just kind of playing weird football. I just think it's one of those games that kind of everybody picks the Chargers, even though Vegas is picking the Chiefs. I think Vegas has got this one kind of pegged. I'm not sleeping on the Chiefs ever, so I'm going Chiefs.
I've been saying that for most of the year, but there's the offense.
I agree.
Unless they're playing the Raiders, there's something broken about it.
I agree.
And
Probably
lucky
right.
for them, the defense has actually played extremely well over the last few weeks to really make up for that. So yeah, sticking with my pick here. going on to we got Saturday games. Do we draft the Saturday games? They just flex 2 Saturday games. No, let's assume Saturday are I'll be on a plane to Florida. So we'll just assume those are prime time. So we'll just pick those and we'll do the draft for the Sunday games. Las Vegas Raiders at Cleveland Browns. Browns favored by 6.5 at home. Browns coming off that narrow victory against the Ravens, and the Raiders getting absolutely demolished against the Chiefs. I'll let you pick this one first, Will. We'll go back and forth.
I got the Browns at home, man. That's just they can lean on that running game. They don't have to have Baker Mayfield do his thing. Hunt's getting more healthy. They still got Chubb. I'm going with Vegas again. Taking the Browns at home.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. The Browns pass rush is very good. Both Clowney and Myles Garrett had really good games against Baltimore, and they're going up against a very bad Raiders offensive line. So I think the Browns win this. I don't believe enough in the Browns offense to say that they cover 6.5, but I would definitely pick Cleveland to win. By the way, forgot a quick update on the picks. So week 14, I went 11-3. That is my best, I believe, of this season. Will also went 11-3, rather 10-4, because we're not giving him the Vikings win on Thursday night. So 10-4 for Will, and Tommy also went 10-4. Current updates standings: I'm 42-29-1. Will is 35-36-1, thanks to his 0-14 when he didn't make picks last week. And Tommy 46-25-1. So I am within 4 games trying to catch Tommy for the home stretch here. All right, back to the games. Did you write that, or I'm going to assume you wrote that? So in the picks column, next to the Patriots at the Colts, it just says Nickelback is good.
Anthony wrote that.
Yeah, I don't have any more words. And for that's a finable offense. So look out for the fine in your mail.
I'm
going to take it out of your paycheck, Will.
If this was any other team, I would say.
I didn't.
I would say
there's a show notes battle going on here between Anthony and Will.
So we're talking about the Patriots at the Colts. If it was any other team, I would say that the away team would be in trouble. I don't think New England sleeps on the Colts. If you shut down Jonathan Taylor, I think you got a very viable path to victory. So I think New England will take this. I think they're just playing really good football. The defense is playing really well. But it's kind of a coin flip.
It is definitely a coin flip. Colts favored by 1.5 at home. 44.5 is the point total. I'm going to go with, because either team could win. I could easily see either team winning this game. So I'm going to go with the result that I would like to see. And I would like to see the Colts beat the Patriots at home. Somebody's got to beat the Patriots. They're playing above their talent level. This Colts defense is very good, although they are susceptible to the pass. But they're good against the run. So it's interesting to see if that's the route that the Patriots take. But I'm going to go Indy here. I really want to see the Colts win that game. So let's finish out the primetime games, and then we'll come back and do the Sunday draft. Sunday Night Football: New Orleans Saints at your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucks favored at 11.5 at home. Pretty straightforward. I know the Saints are just coming off a 39 victory against the Jets, but that was the Jets, and they still didn't look that great.
Why did Anthony already type Tampa Bay?
He does that when he knows we're just going to pick the Bucks. You're not going to pick the Saints. You wouldn't pick the Saints if Drew Brees was here. You'd pick your beloved Bucks. We're both picking the Bucks, unless enlighten me otherwise.
So I will tell you this. So the Saints is, for whatever reason, are the Bucks' kryptonite. I don't know why.
This is true.
So you could see Tampa laying an egg. Just out of fun story about this is episode 2. On episode 1, I talked about going to the Bucks game, and at that game, our sales manager, her daughter showed up with her boyfriend, and looking at this dude, it was the largest human I've ever seen in my entire life, who came to our tailgate.
And you're not a small guy.
And he sat down. This guy was 6'7", probably 285.
Wow.
I mean, he looked like just a tall Aaron Donald. And I was like, good Lord. I walked over to him and I sat down. I was like, so which quarter are you going in today? Which was, I didn't know how to break the ice on that one. And he kind of sort of laughed. And come to find out, he played defensive end for Vanderbilt. And he played for the Saints for a year.
Oh.
And so
nice.
We talked a lot about the NFL. I mean, it was pretty cool experience. chatting with that dude and getting to watch a game with him, but was really cool. So I don't know why anybody cares about that story. I'm gonna
What is that? What bearing does that have on who you're picking exactly?
I'm gonna take the Bucks at home.
I would be especially wary of the spread here. I will say that if you're betting the spread, 11.5 Bucks at home, there's just like you said, the Saints are the kryptonite. Even if the Bucks do win this game, it just has that making of a game that's closer than it should be. And finally, for the primetime games, Minnesota Vikings traveling to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. Vikings are favored by 4.5 on the road. Couple things to consider here. One, the Vikings play to whoever their opponent is. I'm pretty sure they've won or lost by one score in every single game this year. I'm probably wrong, but it feels like that. So this is not going to be some Vikings blowout, even though the Vikings have been playing much better than the Bears. It's a division game in the NFC North. I'm going to let you pick this one first. Vikings. What are your thoughts? Okay, straight up Vikings. I have this, it's purely instinctual. I have this feeling the Bears are going to win at home. I have a feeling that the Vikings, being the up and down team that they are, I think Justin Fields is going to make some plays. He made some plays to start the game against Green Bay. They were just outmanned. The Vikings are not the Packers, even though they beat them. Probably going to regret this pick, but I'm going to go with the Bears at home. All right. That sounded like a demon. That didn't exactly sound like a bear, but if that's the closest we have, Anthony, I will go with it. Still, once again, super happy with your trigger-happy sound effects. We need to do that every show. Let's go ahead and move into our draft. So it's just going to be the two of us going back and forth, drafting for each other and or Tommy. Not sure how this is going to work. Tommy might end up getting more games than normal, but hey, it's not our fault your internet crapped out. All right. First game, Dallas Cowboys at New York Giants. Cowboys favored by 11.5 on the road. I will start the draft off as between the two of us, the person with the better picks record. So take that, Will. I want to go ahead and give this to Tommy. NFC East makes the most sense. He follows it anyway. I'm not particularly interested in this game. From a fantasy aspect, I have a few players on Dallas, but just don't think this will be a very exciting game. But it's the NFC East. You never know what's going to happen. I'll start off with the pick here. Pretty straightforward. Going to pick Dallas to win fairly easily on the road, especially with it's looking like Glennon's going to start again.
Yep.
Okay, see, nice and easy. Will's getting to that point where he's just ready to go to sleep. Even though we record earlier now, I moved the time up. He still can only be bothered with us for so long. So let's go ahead and give that game to Tommy. Anthony, since you're already in the show notes, if you could go ahead and note who's getting each game so we don't give people to... I try to do things right. I try to do it efficiently. Move on to the next game. I'm sorry. We're going game by game. I didn't mean to do that, but I was going to give it to him anyway. That's not how we do the draft. Will, you are up in the draft. Pick any of the main slate games and draft it for either me or Tommy.
I feel like Tommy's going to get the Washington football team at Philadelphia Eagles game, and I think that game could go a lot of different ways. I don't know how Jalen Hurts is feeling nowadays. I don't know how Heineke's feeling. It's kind of a coin flip. I'm just gonna, I do respect Tommy though and the job that he does in this show. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Birds at home.
Heineke is scheduled to start. This is another game that's hard. I'm gonna have to do what I did with the Colts Patriots. And Tommy, I'm sorry, but I would like to see Washington win this game. They're a team that we were all kind of behind. Well, me and Will, maybe not you, Tommy. And I kind of want to see, after that dud they had against Dallas, I want to see, here we go, Nick Sirianni versus Ron Rivera. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm going with the coach. So I'm going to go with Washington football team on the road. 4 points for Philly at home. Interesting spread there against Washington. All right, I am up next in the draft. Let's go ahead and, Texans, Jaguars, I want no piece of, and I know you just won't watch it, so you don't care. Will, I'm going to give you Houston Texans to Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags favored at home by 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to watch every minute of that game, I promise.
There's no way in hell you watch any minutes of that game unless in red zone somebody comes up with a score. That will be the extent.
How are the Jaguars favored? Like,
that's what I'm wondering.
Smash Houston in that game because there's no way, dude. There's no effing way the Jaguars win that game. They're a mess. Houston.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Texans as well. The Texans actually beat the Jags in Week 1. You want to go back that far? At the very least, if you're just betting the spread, absolutely bet Houston here. There's no way the Jags win by more than a field goal. But I'm gonna go to pick the Texans to actually win the game. All right, you're up, Will. Let's get this draft rolling. I know you're ready to go sleepy.
No, I'm good, dog.
Okay.
Let's see. Why don't you just go ahead and watch your stupid Dolphins play the Jets?
There we go. Thank you. I'm going to watch the game anyway, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so Dolphins favored by 8.5 at home. If you listen to our main episode where we listed a number of basically all the important Dolphins fantasy players for the DFS slate this week, I'm clearly going to pick Miami. Don't love the 8.5 spread only because the Dolphins are not a high-scoring offense. They would need probably a defensive touchdown to hit that. But as far as picking them straight up, definitely going Dolphins. It's just a nod. For those listening, Will just nods. He can't be bothered to speak anymore at this point.
I already picked the Dolphins. What are you talking about? This is obvious.
It needs to be official. We need to hear it.
I did say it. You said
you nodded.
No, I said the Dolphins. They're obviously going to win. And I'm going to go ahead and pick again because you didn't listen to me.
All right, fair. Off the rails.
Let's go with the Bengals Broncos game, and I'll give you that one.
Bengals Broncos. Interesting. Denver favored at home by 1.5. I think clearly Cincinnati's the better team. Clearly they have the better quarterback. I'm a little surprised Denver, I guess because they're at home that they're favored in this. But to me, this is an easiest coin flip according to Vegas. But I'm thinking Cincinnati wins this one fairly handily. I think this is a down Broncos game.
I'm with you.
All right. Well, I will jump back into the draft. Let's take a look at this entire slate and see games I do not wish to cover. I'm not a big fan of watching the Seahawks this year. So I'll give you Seattle at LA. Rams favored by 7. It's a division game. You never know what could happen. Seahawks have had the Rams numbers before. All right, you're thinking that we do. So let's start with you. Let's get your pick here.
I mean, COVID could change all of these things, right? Like I'm just assuming that no one's sick with COVID when I make these picks, but I'm just gonna take the Rams at home. I mean, the Seahawks are just all over the place.
Well, Beckham's already out. Henderson hasn't been cleared, but they're assuming he will be back. Seattle doesn't have any players out.
Yeah, Van Jefferson is a very serviceable OBJ stand-in, so I'm
True, they get Higbee back.
I'm still taking the Rams.
I'm also taking
Rams house. Whose house? Rams house.
Also taking the Rams at home. Seattle's an interesting team. They're playing a little bit better lately, but they haven't had great opponents. Hard to bet on a 7-point spread. Still think the Rams will win, but not that confident in that spread there. All right, Will, turn it back over to you. Even though you went out a turn last time, I'm going to stay according to the rules. Go ahead.
Oh, man. One of the more obvious games. Let's see. If I had to choose for you, the available games are the Packers, Ravens, Panthers, Bills, Cardinals, Lions, and the Falcons, 49ers. I would say you probably would want to most watch the Panthers, Bills. So you can have that.
Oh, thank you. You would be correct. That's exactly the game that I'm interested in watching. I am in the fantasy playoffs, and 3 of my 4... I'm in 7 leagues, but I really care about 4 of them. Made the playoffs in 3. The 4th is a dynasty league that I missed the playoffs by 10 points and ended in 9th out of 10th place. So I get the second pick in the draft. So not unhappy there. But I have Josh Allen in multiple leagues. I have Dawson Knox. I have Stephon Diggs. So a number of interests in this game. Buffalo favored by 11.5. With the way they've been playing, I'm not sure I love that. Just because the Panthers have a good defense. Panthers offense is awful, so I tend to be scared of these high spreads, and maybe I shouldn't be. Buffalo to win, clearly. TBD if I'm going to bet the over at 11.5.
Bills make me wanna shout.
Wow.
That's the bill. Whatever. We'll take what we can get.
I got the Bills at home. The Panthers just suck. The Panthers are really bad right now. No
They
McCaffrey. They got Cam Newton. They're playing a split of Cam Newton and PJ Walker. Even the Trey White-less Bills will figure this out.
Moving on, I am going to draft another one for Tommy. We can't forget about him not being on the show. A little bit of a punishment pick. I mean, I know it's not his fault. The internet's not here, but we haven't had our full crew since before Thanksgiving. I'm a little ticked. I'm hoping for Christmas we have everybody. So I'm going to give him the Titans at the Steelers. Clearly a game that I'm not interested in covering. The Titans favored on the road by 2.5. The Titans are just hard. They have another team that's benefited from an easy schedule. They've had a ton of injuries. They got Julio back last week, but he didn't produce much. A.J. Brown's still injured. Derrick Henry's still injured. Their defense has been playing better lately, which doesn't bode well for Pittsburgh, who's had an awful offense. Pittsburgh's defense has not been playing well. So with that being said, I'm going to have to pick Tennessee. I'm not crazy about it. I think Tennessee is playing above their record, but I think the Steelers are awful. So, yep, going to stick to the Titans here.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Okay, Tennessee for both of us. 3 games left. Cardinals at Lions, Falcons at Niners, and Packers at Ravens. You're up, Will.
I feel like Tommy's going to want to watch the Packers at the Ravens. So I'll give him that.
He does love his Lamar, and Lamar is supposedly set to play even after injuring his ankle.
Yeah. So
all right,
I'm taking.
You can start this one. You're going to start with the Packers. Also playing the Packers. Once again, if you listen to our main episode, we were talking about DFS. We really like Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, and I had a flyer with MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. The Ravens' secondary is very weak. The run defense is actually good. Not happy with how the Ravens have been playing lately. A lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. I would pick the Packers to win and to cover that 6.5 points there. All right, 2 games left. I will go ahead and give, Will, for showing up today, I will not give you the Lions. I'll give that to Tommy. So that'll at Arizona Cardinals at Detroit Lions. At least he gets to watch. I know he's got DeAndre Hopkins in a fantasy league that we're in, so give him a little bit there. Cardinals favored by 14. High point spread. I would probably go ahead and pick them to cover that against the Lions. I mean, the freaking Broncos just beat the Lions by 28. Go Lions. All right, you know what, Anthony? Do you really feel, you can give us a sound effect. How confident are you that the Lions are going to beat the Cardinals this week?
I mean, he's not, because they're not one of his 3 locks.
That tells all. We will get to the producer locks. You need to officially say your pick, but I'm going to assume you're going with Arizona here.
Yeah.
Detroit. Anthony thinks he's smooth putting the Lions in for our picks.
I mean, worse, funnier things have. Wasn't the Cardinals, the Lions, the game that tied to start a season 3 years ago or something?
And Kyler Murray's first ever start in his rookie season 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Cardinals. And I'll give you the option. Do you want to take the 49ers game, or do you want to give it to Tommy?
I'll take it. It'll be on TV here anyway. I've got Cordero Patterson and Debo in multiple lineups that I'm in playoffs in fantasy. I picked our boy Corduroy as my hire. So, yes, I got a lot of vested interest in this. I will take this. As for picking it, definitely think it's going to be San Francisco. Atlanta's feisty. 8 points, I think, might be a little bit rich for a Niners team that's playing well, but they're not exactly dominant. But as far as just picking the winner, we'll clearly pick San Francisco here. How about you?
Yes.
That's a yes. And that wraps up our preview and picks this week. Really hoping that Tommy is on, Will is on, Anthony, me, and we'll all be here. We'll call it our Christmas special. Even though we're not really doing anything special, we will have a Christmas-themed palate cleanser. I'll give you that much of a tease. Otherwise, we'll be recapping all these games we just picked, previewing the Week 16 action leading into Christmas, and kind of take it from there. But once again, Will, thanks for being here, present in whatever way you can be. Completely wrong in your opinions on bands. Any last words? Oh, we didn't do the producer picks. See, that's what happens when the show notes go onto another page. So Anthony went 2-1 last week. Correctly picked the Cowboys over the football team, the Seahawks over the and then got it wrong picking the Cardinals over the Rams. So he is now at 7-1. It's a very Lions-esque record, although more wins than the Lions. Week 15. Why don't you, Anthony, come on real and give us your locks? And, put his Lions guard. What are your 3 locks for this week?
All right. So this week I have the Packers at the Ravens, winning against the Ravens. I have the Chargers winning against the Chiefs. And then I asked my brother Tyler to pick one for me to lock, and he always wants to give me a hard one, so he gave me the Bengals and Broncos game. I think the Bengals are going to take the Broncos in that one.
Like it.
So, yet again, just odd. Like, the Cowboys are not a lock to beat the Giants. The Dolphins aren't a lock to beat the Jets.
So, because you missed the show, no. Gritty. He doesn't like to pick double-digit spreads like a real man. If he's going to pick, he's not going to pick the easiest ones. Like, what fun is that? I respect the game. I respect the integrity. I like the way you don't listen to Will. And that's it. Thank you all for watching. This is the first time we've gone live with the preview show with the flavor of the week. We're going to start doing that. So we're just going to go live with both episodes, and then we'll still keep the same audio cadence. So you'll get the main episode on Wednesday mornings if you just listen to it on our podcast, which most people do. And then you'll get the flavor of the week on Thursdays. That's it. Subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Yada, yada, blah, 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 banter. Can't wait to see NFL action. As always, we got some Saturday games this week, 4 days of NFL football. Thank you. And as always, we'll see you next week on the PPP.
Later.